When they were holding weekly press conferences to speculate on the economy under John Mahama, that wasn't speculation. Today, who is holding weekly press conferences? Look, I've shared with Annie. You see, I went to the Bank of Ghana. Forget black market. For now, forget black market. I've shared with Annie. Bank of Ghana. That one is not black market though. The Bank of Ghana. I looked at their interbank rates. Kwesi, you will cry. If Annie is so minded, she can put it. Kwesi, I started from the 10th of October, and she's put it on the screen. 10th of October, this month, the dollar was changing to the cedi at 9.64. 11th of October, 9.71. 12th of October, 9.78. 13th, 10.70. 14th, 10.71. 17th, because there was a weekend. 17th Monday, and so from Monday till today, look at the rate. On Monday, 17th, the dollar was 10.86. Monday, 10.86. Bank of Ghana. On Tuesday, it was still 10.86. You see, Wednesday, it jumped to 11.30. Then it jumps to, yesterday, from 11.30, it jumps to 12.5. In a day, Bank of Ghana rate jumped by 1.2 Ghana cedis. From 11.3 to 12.5 is what? 1 cedi 20 pesos. Bank of Ghana. So this is not even black market and speculation. This is the Bank of Ghana. Empirically, we have a problem with our currency.
Nobody said we don't have a problem.
And that problem is not Ukraine, Russia. That problem is not covered. Like the IMF has said after seeing our books in Washington during the last round of meetings, the problems are caused by the poor fiscal policies of the MPP government. You tell me that the problems you face here are creations of the NDC. Hey, really? When Gabi put out his tweet, Gabi Ochedaku put out a tweet on the 8th of May 2014, hashtag bring back our cedi. That's it. It was changing at 2.9 to the dollar. 2.9. Today, under his cousin, we've crossed 15 and going. And you tell me that it is John Mahama who created this problem for you. When John Mahama was handing over power to you, you said he was clueless. You said he didn't know what he was doing. John Mahama handed over to you a gallon of petrol at 14 cedis. 14 cedis. Today, a liter, not a gallon, a liter of diesel is 15.99, 16 cedis. Yet you blame John Mahama. When John Mahama was leaving power, a bag of cement was 20 Ghana cedis. Today, a bag of cement is 82 Ghana cedis. 82. John Mahama is the one fixing the prices. People say I am being harsh on the government with the words I'm using. Let me read for you what Evron Hughes said about John Mahama in 2015 and tell me if I have not been charitable with the MPP today. This was his post on the 20th of November 2015. Again, I've shared with your production. He's been, and this was describing the then president, John Dramani Mahama. He's been practicing on how to sharpen his public display of buffoonery and indulgence in idiotic comedy. Evron Hughes about John Mahama, sitting president.
That's on social media. That's not on a national platform like this.
Master. He is today an advisor to your vice president. I'm coming there.
To what?
To your vice president. Evron Hughes.
Not our vice president.
No.
It's not your vice president.
No wonder he's run us into a ditch.
That what you're saying?
The ditch that they are talking about was dollar at 4.2 in 2015. It appears his strategy is to divert our attention from the economic shambles, the corruption, the energy crisis, youth unemployment, collapsing businesses, and unprecedented debt they have saddled Ghanaians with by indulging in this kind of tomfoolery and hopes we travel that path with him. If John Mahama expects by these foolish antics that it will somehow distract us from demanding and holding him to account for his stewardship, then he's deluding himself. Of course, the MPP will respond to his nonsense with disproportionate force and intensity, but will stay the course in laying bare his incompetence. Goes on and on. Says John Mahama, it's about time you quit fooling around and focus on riding yourself out of this incompetence. Now, will it not be right, since this is an advisor to the vice president, who is the head of our economic management team, Everon Hughes is part of Bawumia's inner caucus and cabinet, and Bawumia is the head of our economic management team. Tell me today, who is engaged in idiotic comedy? Is it not our vice president who sits and is laughing when the Ghanaians are crying?
You see where my problem is.
Let me finish. Who has driven this country into economic shambles? Who has driven this country with corruption, unprecedented corruption in this country? Who has brought about youth unemployment?
I'll tell you how.
No, you love your time.
Who has collapsed businesses in this country today? What is unprecedented debt? What is Ghana's debt to GDP today? Standing at 106%. And you tell me that John Mahama was engaged in tomfoolery. Then what is Nanado and Bawumia engaged in?
Are you comparing yourself to Honorable?
I am not. I am using their marketing scheme.
Are you
see, no, these are not my words. I am using a presidential staffer who is paid with your taxes and my taxes, who is an advisor to your head of the economic management team.
To the head of the economic management team.
I am using his words, his marking scheme, to mark his own government. These are not my words. Sam George has not said anything. These are Everon Hughes' words.
But you can't compare. That my problem is you can't compare yourself to him at the time.
Absolutely, I would not. I won't bring myself to that level. I'm just showing them. I'm just showing them the level of tomfoolery and idiotic comedy that we are having to deal with today. His own marking scheme, not my words. Businesses are collapsing today. You see, Guta, they've done this press statement saying they are calling off. Last but one paragraph. Finally, we thank His Excellency the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, for understanding and appreciating the degree of our challenges and setting up a joint working committee for expeditious action. Guta, they must be joking. You thank who? Why? Akufo-Addo has been sleeping. He had to take the government chair to call him to know that Guta members are dying, and Guta thinks that they believe the rhetoric from the president. Look, you have a president who at this time, when businesses are collapsing, people cannot buy critical medication because of the increasing cost. He is on a tour, political tour. This is a president who held over 22 national broadcasts during COVID because it was an opportunity for him and his colleagues to loot state purses doing COVID procurement. Fellow Ghanaians have come into your homes. When we didn't invite him, he came into our homes.
He's the president.
He is the president. He should show leadership today. Why has the president not addressed the nation? Liz Truss was prime minister for 44 days. She addressed the nation yesterday and resigned in UK. Even if he won't have the decency and courtesy to resign, he should address the country. This is not the time for the president to be transporting, get a V8 and be transporting a seat, a chair, with a convoy of 28 Land Cruisers. What is he telling Ghanaians? What is he accounting to us for? Ghanaians are unable to afford even a meal a day. And the president is moving around with a plethora of appointees that he's touring the country and asking for re-election. How incompetent and insensitive can you be? You are not just incompetent, you are wicked and callous. Because look, you don't understand the import of this letter by the pharmaceutical chamber. Because do you know what it means? Do you know how many Ghanaians in this country today are suffering from diabetes and high blood pressure? And those medications are on national health insurance.
And they are to do cash.
And now they are saying that they are no longer going to give credit. Do you know how many people are going to die of BP and diabetes? BP and diabetes are not medications that you say, oh, today I won't take and tomorrow I'll come and take it. No! The incompetence of Akufo-Addo is going to lead to people losing their family members. Because the pharmaceuticals are saying we can no longer supply free medication or on credit medication. Because they supply the medication today. In 6 months when you are paying them, they've lost 50% of the value of the money. And the president is moving in a convoy of 28 Land Cruisers. One whole Land Cruiser carrying a chair that he's sitting on. He has no decency to address us as a country. And he says he's a leader. Is that what leadership is about? Look, we are not angry enough in this country. We are not angry enough. The whole thing that happened in Kumasi is small. We see, we need to hold the president to account. He is paid with our salaries. He is supposed to serve this country and not lord it over us. He goes to Ashanti region and literally insults the people there. That they are talking ill of him. And what insensitivity. What sense, what height of depravity on the part of the president. That is unprecedented. It is unbecoming of someone holding that high office of the land. Because see, our economy is in shambles. Look, we are the worst performing currency behind Ukraine. The list of top global leaders of West currencies. The Ukrainian hryvnia, depreciation against the dollar. And you say the problem is the US. Trying to talk economic theory, like Baumia did. And like I said, I'll come to him. I'm dealing with the president now. I'll come to him. We'll look for him. You should wait. 26.1 in Ukraine, where bombs are dropping every day, their currency has depreciated against the dollar by 26.1%. The Turkish lira, 28.5%. The Argentinian peso, 33.1%. Sierra Leone, that came out of civil war how many days ago? 33.1% depreciation. The Laotian kip, Laos, a country we can urinate around. Their currency is doing better than Ghana's cedi. It has only depreciated by 34.9%. Sri Lanka, where they actually the prime minister ran away, there was no leadership. Their currency is 44.7% depreciation. And my fellow Ghanaians has overseen the depreciation of the Ghanaian cedi by 51.6%. And these are even conservative estimates. And you want to tell me the problem is America? Where is the head of our economic management team? Holding lectures, and we're told, you have that sound bite. Your producer can play it again for our viewers. Where Nanado says he brought him because on Nemadia, he's an economic whiz-kid. Economic whiz-kid, Pony. We didn't know that he was a musician. Whiz-kid is a musician, Nigerian musician. We've gone to take a scam artist and made him a head of our economic management team.
Who you are referring to Dr. Baumia?
Absolutely, he's a scammer.
He's an economist. You don't agree that he's an economist?
Even my Form 6, Form 3...
You don't agree that he's an economist?
The sweetness of the pudding is in the eating. This is the economics he's teaching us. Inflation of over 106% when you use Professor Hanke's model of calculation. Even when you use the Ghana Statistical Service, over 42%.
Let's restrict ourselves
42%. When was the last time you saw a 42% inflation rate in Ghana? Tell me. When? Under your economic risk scale. Tell me he's not a scammer. All the lectures he held at Central University, where he gave us the economic theories and models, is this what he promised us? Did he not promise us heaven and has given us hell? Is that not scamming the people? How different is it from Piram? Piram promised people financial liberation and rather took away their money. Today, Kwesi, tell me Baumia has not Piram Ghanaians. If you had 1 million Ghana cedis sitting in your bank account in January, that 1 million Ghana cedis was equivalent to $200,000. Today, that 1 million cedis is no longer worth $200,000. It's worth $80,000. Tell me Baumia has not Piram Ghanaians. Tell me about what is the difference between Baumia and Men's Gold. Tell me.
That's an attack on his person, on Baumia's person.
He's hiding an economic is it his shadow we appointed as president? Is he not his as vice president and head of economic management? Is he not his person?
He sits with Minister of Trade. He sits with a number of people who form the economic management.
The backstops. Who is the head of the economic management team?
Of course, himself.
So what are you talking about? If there's a problem with Metro TV today, who will I blame? He's not the head of the institution. If the head of the institution, except you are telling me that Baumia is not only clueless, but is completely inefficient at even managing a team. And so we shouldn't hold him responsible for the failings of his team. You have a crop of people who simply would not listen, who are living in an alternate universe. They have an alternate truth. The president sits there and tells us that he gets the report. You get the report and you're able to drive 28 cars, then you are callous, you are wicked, you are heartless. Because if you have the milk of human compassion running through you, and you know that the persons, the MPP persons, and ordinary Ghanaians who went to queue to vote for you, go and look at their shops in Aboshi Okai. Go and look at how they are suffering. Go to Swame magazine and see how they are suffering. The ordinary Ghanaian who queued and voted for you after drinking Calipo Ponye, imagine if he had drunk Akpeteshi. Look at how Calipo is burning us. Imagine if that ordinary Ghanaian today can no longer get his BP medication because you have drunk Calipo and messed up the economy.
Learn for me.
Kwesi,
Learn for me.
Kwesi,
Learn for me.
I can't learn. I'm in cruise control. You see, but let me tell you something. We may think that these things are funny, but see, people are suffering. Look, and I'll end by showing you something someone did. You know, when I did the salary analysis, when I did the salary analogy, and I said, if you earn 2,000 Ghana cedis a month, it's 24,000. This is what someone has sent to me, and I've verified. A McDonald's employee, the ones that flip beggar, they just flip the beggar and put mayonnaise on it. He earns $10.96 an hour. That translates to 144 cedis, 34 pesos. If you are using 13.1 as the exchange rate per hour, 144 cedis per hour. Now, if you work 8 hours, when that person works 8 hours a day, he earns 1,154 cedis, 72 pesos a day. That comes to 5,773 Ghana cedis, 60 pesos a week. If he works for 6 days a week, he earns 6,928 Ghana cedis, 32 pesos a week. Because flipping beggar, your salary is not up to 6,900 Ghana cedis. If the person works for 5 days in a month, his monthly salary for flipping beggars is 23,094 pesos, Ghana cedis, 40 pesos. If he works for 6 days in a week, flipping beggars, MPs, they say MPs are paid one of the highest. The gross salary of an MP before you even do deductions is less than what he earns if he works for 6 days. 27,713 cedis, 28 pesos. So if you work for 1 year in Ghana, as a bank person, you wake up in the morning, this heat we are in this country, you wear tie and suit and go and sit in the banking hall, and you earn 2,000 cedis a month, and they pay you 24,000 at the end of the year. Someone flipping beggars in 6 days is making more than you are earning. And tell me why people are not going to run away from the country.
Right.
And the person who's pretending over this is still flying in the air and buffing in the air and has a whole Land Cruiser that is drinking fuel at 15 cedis, 99 pesos per liter of diesel to carry a chair around, because there are no chairs in any other region in Ghana.